Today we are going to start part 3 of chapter 3, that is business environment. This is the last part of this chapter. Earlier sessions we were talking about all the internal and external factors. Now there were certain changes, or you can say there were certain reforms which are brought into with related to industries, and we got new economic policy or new industrial policy in 1991. Now this was a very good change which was brought into in our country for the development of industrial sector. Earlier, the government used to control all the industrial areas, and there were very few industries which were left to the ownership of private sector. And during that time, licensing was very much needed requirement, and it was compulsory to get the licensing. So it was very that time difficult for the new investors or for the new people who wanted to invest into the business or start business, because due to this licensing policy, they were somehow not able to get through to get into the business or start the business or expand their business. So in this reform, that is the reforms which is related to new economic policy or the changes, one of the change was with related to licensing. Government reduced the number of industries under compulsory licensing. That means earlier there were many industries which were required to have compulsory licensing, which means they had to compulsory get the license in order to start the company or in order to expand the company. But then that number was reduced to 6. So now many private companies got an opportunity to start the business or invest into the business, as licensing rules and regulations became bit liberal. Now, many industries which were reserved for public sector earlier, they were de-reserved, because earlier there were many public sectors which used to come under the control of the government, and slowly government they started disinvestment. Disinvestment means transferring that public sector company from public sector to private sector. So private sector started buying those public sector companies. That is the transfer of share from public sector to private sector. So all these changes took place which helped the private sectors to improve their role in the growth of economy. Now again, policy towards FDI, that is foreign direct investment. Now please understand what is FDI. Foreign direct investment means that foreign companies were allowed to invest into India, which means, see, again, we have to fix the ratio. We cannot just allow all the foreign companies to invest into India, because if the ratio is not fixed, then of course it would harm our Indian manufacturers or Indian industrialists. So there was a policy towards foreign capital which was liberalized. Earlier, there were too many restrictions on the foreign investment into India. But then there were certain sectors like medicine and pharma where 100% FDI was permitted, which means that foreign companies can invest into the Indian market. Now, there was, of course, automatic permission was now granted for technological agreements with foreign companies. See, we know very well that technologically India has now, of course, improved a lot, but in the earlier days, it was not so. So with regard to technological sector or service sector, we granted the permission to the foreign company that they can enter into the Indian market. So technologically, our country can improve. Now, Foreign Investment Promotion Board was set up to promote and channelize these foreign investment in India. And it is only after 1991 that majority of the foreign companies, they started investing into India, because there were many changes with regard to tariffs, that is the charges, duties, export duty, custom duty, many changes were made. Now this changes in the economic policy helped the foreign companies to invest into Indian market. Now, of course, with new economic policy, the main 3 things were LPG, that is how I call it. So it's easy to remember for the students. It's nothing but liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now let's study one by one. Liberalization means the liberal attitude of the government towards the business, towards technology, towards trading. That means government gave the liberty to the industry in many areas. That means, firstly, there was abolition of license requirement in most of the industries. Only few industries now require licensing. There were no restriction on expansion and contraction of business like how earlier it was. Earlier, if any company wanted to expand their market, they had to get the license or they had to get the permission, and there was long legal formality. So that was again abolished. No restrictions on movement of goods and services, which means that you can produce how much ever you want if there is a demand for it, and you can do the trading also. Freedom in fixing the prices of goods. Now, this was another liberal attitude of the government, that in order to see the country can grow only if the GDP is improving, and GDP can improve only if there is more production into the country. And there would be only more production when the business firms invest into the business. And these business firms will only invest into the business when they earn profit. So freedom to fix the prices of goods, they were given the liberty, business firms were given the liberty to keep the profit ratio, but not to exploit the consumers. There was reduction in the tax rate. There were also certain subsidies which were given to the business firms if they were contributing very well to the growth of country. And so all these unnecessary controls were removed, which helped the industries to improvise on their output and help the economy to grow. Another one was privatization. Privatization means when it was very important. Before knowing the meaning, let's understand that why privatization was done. If any particular public sector is not doing well, and if it is going under the loss, even then sometimes government have to continue with that public sector, because the main aim of public sector is welfare, and their motive is not to earn profit. Now, in order to fulfill the needs of necessity needs of the poor people, they had to continue. But there were certain public sector companies which were continuously going under the loss, and which was not at all beneficial for the country. In fact, it was very much harmful for the country. So the government came up with disinvestment, or you can say they came up with the term called privatization, that let's sell the shares of these public sector in the hands of private companies. So new industrial policy of 91, they adopted the policy of disinvestment of the public sector, and they decided to pass on these to the private companies, because private companies, their main motive is profit. So obviously they would improvise on the structure of the company, the functioning of the company, the way it was being managed. So privatization is another which helped the private sector. So as I said, disinvestment means transfer of public sector or enterprise to the private sector. There is a board, that is BIFR, Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, which helps the loss-making company or sick enterprises. It gives them chance to come up once again. But continuously, if that companies are making losses, then they cannot be no longer they can survive into the market, and they have to be closed down. The next term is globalization. Now, before I go on to globalization, let me tell you that this liberalization, privatization, and globalization, we are again going to learn in detail in the next chapter. Globalization involves an increased level of interaction and interdependence among the various nations of the global economy. Now, when I say globalization, of course, it means in terms of trade, in terms of business, in terms of trade relation, in terms of political relation. So when my country is openly interacting with the other countries in the world, then my country becomes a global economy, that I'm allowing my country to interact, to have business relations, political relations with the other country. Now, this trade liberalization, of course, helped import and export of our country, because there were many changes in the tariff structure. When I say tariff structure, it means the charges, or you can say taxes, that is import duties, export duty, custom, excise, all the changes were made. Earlier, there were too many restrictions on import and export, but now certain liberal attitude was given with regard to these areas also, which helped our country to sell our products into the global market without any problem. Now, after these three terms, let's talk about demonetization. Of course, few years, in 2016, we had faced this recently, and few were the first one to witness demonetization. Now, this government of India made an announcement on November 8th, that is 2016, that 500 rupees note and 1000 rupees notes are going to be demonetized, which means that circulation of those currencies will no longer will be valid in the economy. So this stoppage of 500 and 1000 rupees currency, it actually led to 68% of the money circulation invalid. That means there were too much percentage of money which was in the circulation, which were black money or which were illegal money or which were used for illegal activity. Now, this demonetization, the main aim of demonetization was to bring down the corruption ratio, to stop all the or to reduce the illegal activities and especially the black money. Now, of course, through demonetization, government indicated to all those people who were trying to evade the tax. Evade means avoid. There are n number of people who are, trying to avoid tax. So this was a signal from the government to those people that this tax evasion or tax avoidance from the people will no longer be tolerated or accepted. Now, there were certain impacts of demonetization, of course. When there was demonetization, it led our economy to transform it to digital world. That is, our economy became a digital economy. Now, even the smallest of the retailer or a shopkeeper is into digitalization, so which is one of the best complementary thing which we have got after demonetization. There was decline in cash transaction because of demonetization. Many people started transaction in digital way, because that is the introduction of PayPal or Paytm. All these things encourage digital transaction. Bank deposit, of course, increased because due to demonetization, there were n number of people who started depositing their money, because now black money was converted into white. Increase in financial savings, prices of real estates were declined because most of the real estates were circulating their money in black. Now, of course, due to demonetization, the prices of all the real estates declined. And there was huge collection of income tax, which is again an addition to the government treasury. So impact of all these government policies or changes on business and industry, it helped to increase the competition, because see, there was increasing competition into the market, because now not only the Indian companies were there, but also due to globalization and liberalization, many more companies started investing or entering into the Indian market. And the customer became more demanding, because now customer is aware about what is happening in the market. No more customer is ignorant. Nowadays, the customer or today's modern customer is more demanding, because he is aware of all the changes which are taking place economically, politically, or socially. And due to rapidly changing technological environment, of course, it has affected our business, because it has improved now. Now, many business firms have started using advanced technology. Of course, there is a need for developing human resources and market orientation, which means that all the business firms have now become aware that they should be aware of what is happening in the business environment, be it external factor or be it internal factor. So to conclude, we can say that this new industrial or economic policy helps the economy to improve towards liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Now, industries have become more consumer focused because now consumer is the king. Consumer is considered as a king of the market. Only those commodities which will be manufactured, which he is demanding. So all these have improved the customer relationship and their satisfaction. Thank you very much.